all the dignitaries, distinguished delegates, guests from other college, and to everyone assembled here. It is a mark of undying tradition to invoke the Almighty at the beginning of an important event. Let us start the day with a prayer song. I request you all to stand for the prayer song. Encouragement, enthusiasm, excellency is one of the major aspects of this organization. With an object of encouraging the spirit of students, Ganadipathy Tulsi's Jain Engineering College feels proud to host the National Level Technical Symposium Ripple 13. Students from different parts of the states enhance the quality, quantity, academic function and success of the college through the informative paper presentations and other technical events. On the behalf of the management, principal, faculty and students to give warm welcome to our Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Sundaram Tanu IS Sir, Retired General Manager, Head of Services Lucas TVS and Gamesa Wind Turbines India Limited. A person who gives strategic direction, academic leader, and who implements changes towards the achievement of our department's success. A great motivator and innovator, and a person who added brilliance to this department. Yes, it is none other than our beloved head of department, Mr. M. Sudhakaran Sir. I would like to call upon our HOD to present the welcome address. Mr. Shadow. Now, we will have our traditional lamp lighting ceremony as a tribute to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. I now request all the dignitaries on the dais to light the lamp and symbolically inaugurate this program.
Thank you. may the shadows be cast away by these lights. Thank you, sir, for starting this glorious event. I would like to call upon our HOD to present the welcome address.
A very good morning to one and all. It's my immense pleasure to welcome all for this national level technical symposium Ripple 13. I would like to welcome our beloved principal Dr. B.V. Ramakrishna Avargal. Welcome, sir. I offer my heartfelt welcome to our honorable chief guest Sri Sundaram Thanu Iyer Avargal. Welcome, sir. I extend my cordial welcome to our dynamic CEO, Sri T.V. Bhattacharya Avargal. Welcome, sir. I offer my welcome to Academic Dean, Professor Ilanjayan Pandian. Welcome, sir. I offer my welcome to Dean Examination, Professor R. Murugan. Welcome, sir. I am particularly pleased to welcome all HODs who have honored us by taking part in this national level technical symposium. And heartily welcome to faculty members who spend valuable time in coordinating these events. I welcome all the participants from other colleges and my dear students of Triple departments. This symposium is a good opportunity for us to learn together, to interchange ideas and build capacity to get ready for any upcoming challenges. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Now, let us hear about the achievements and splendid work of our chief guest. I would like to call upon Mrs. R. Geeta Ma'am, Associate Professor, to give the introductory speech about our chief guest.
With great immense pleasure of honor, I take up the privilege to introduce our chief guest, Sri Sundaram Thanu Iyer, Retired General Manager, Head of Services, Lucas TVS, Gamsa Wind Turbines, India Limited. He is native of Nagarkoil, graduated from Madras Institute of Technology, Krompet, Chennai, in the year 1982 with honors. He was selected through campus interview by DCM Toyota as graduate engineer trainee. He grew up with ranks to General Manager and Head of Services in DCM Toyota, New Delhi, Dunlop India, Chennai, Lucas TVS, Chennai, Vestas RRB, and Gamsa Wind Turbines, also from Chennai. Also, he spent all his 30 years of service in after sales service of different products ranging from trucks to wind turbines, including a variety of auto components. He has been trained under AOTs, Japan, and by Professor Washio on the principles of TKM. He excelled his customer management, dealer management, warranty management, product performance improvement, etc. His achievements over the years are: he established a wide network of dealerships, built up model workshops, brought up unique programs like Lucas Care, Star Dealer, Q Square workshops, and many more. He is currently offering consultancy services and training in after sales service, ISO and OSHA certification, and solar installations. His hobbies includes TV surfing, playing chess, and cricket. He is proud of being a Tamilian, proud of his native place and MIT, the institute he graduated from. He believes in Yadum Ure Yavaram Kelir. The world is for everybody to live. Thank you, sir.
Requested dynamic and eminent principal, Dr. B.V. Ramakrishna sir, to honor our chief guest, Sri Sundaram Thanu Iyer sir. Sudhakaran Sir, HOD and the convener of the symposium, to honor our beloved principal, Sir. Geeta Ma'am, Associate Professor and Coordinator of the Symposium, to honor our beloved Chief Administrative Officer, Mr. T.V. Parthasarathi Sir. I humbly invite Mrs. R. Tenmuri Ma'am, Assistant Professor and Event Coordinator, to honor our Dean Academic, Professor G. Ilanjaya Pandian Sir. Request our dignitaries to release our souvenir of Ripple 13. Thank you, sir. An honorable soldier, an eminent leader, a great motivator, a superstar of the mechanical world, a well-known electrical professor, the shining sun of our system, the heart and soul of our college, the lion-like king of our institution. It is one and only our beloved principal, Dr. B.V. Ramakrishnan, sir. I would like to call upon him to give the inaugural address.
Yeah, you can go down, there's no problem. A very good morning to one and all present here. Shri Sugal Chanjain ji, our Managing Trustee and Correspondent. Shri Amar Chanjain ji, our Secretary. The chief guest for the day, Mr. Sundaram Thanu Iyer from Chennai, born at Nagarkoil, who is very proud of that. Sri T.V. Parthasarathi, Chief Administrative Officer. Professor Ilanjaya Pandian, Dean Academics. Professor Murugan, Dean Examination. Young, dynamic Sudhakaran, Head of Department of EEE. The other head of departments, faculty members who have come from other colleges, participating students from other colleges, and my dear students. Very good morning to you. Electronics engineering. So it is electrical. Let me tell you, when we get up early in the morning, first thing what we hear is the alarm bell. It could be from any clock or a cell phone, and for that to ring, you require battery power. Next is the milkman comes and gives a buzz on the calling bell. That requires a power. Not only that, Vellore, very famous for temperatures of 38 to 40 degrees in September itself, and maybe in the month of June, July, going up to 45 plus, you require fans, you require air conditioners. That requires power. Every inch, every mile, every kilometer, every cubic centimeter, every cubic meter, every cubic kilometer, every human being, every space, everywhere, hole in the world, below the water, as a submarine, on the surface, or above in the air in the satellite. Even if the satellite has to work, you require power, power, power. So today, a human being has become a slave to power. Do you agree or not? So that is the power of electrical engineering. And tomorrow, the whole of the world is looking at electrical engineers for alternate sources of power, because the natural sources of conventional of fuel oil, hydrocarbons, followed by coal, is going to get depleted. Hydrocarbons maybe another 40, 50 years. Balanced coal maybe 100 years. After that, what is the alternate fuel is the question what we have to ask. If that is the case, you have to start thinking now. Because Bill Gates started thinking in 70s or 60s about computers using dirty DOS software. He got the computer. Today we have palm tops and laptops. 200 years back, people in Germany, they thought of either the diesel or auto. All these people talked about various cycles. That's why you got diesel engines and petrol engines and various things. So what you want in future is start thinking now. So the responsibility lies in your hand. Just a couple of days back, college is so nice to the principal. It gives me 2 papers. One paper is Hindu and second paper is Deccan Chronicle. I take it home. And every day in the evening, I try to read through that. Now this is the paper of 9th October. This is Deccan Chronicle. I'll read out that. Drone with flight power of 5 years built. You know what is drone means? Like for example in Afghanistan, Americans are using pilotless aircraft. Pilotless aircraft is known as a drone. Now today, the Americans have built an aircraft. An American aerospace company has developed a lightweight solar powered drone that can fly at 60,000 feet without any power for 5 years. It is 60 meters in length, the wings, larger than this hall. What it does is, in the daytime, directly it takes the solar power, converts into panels, and parallelly it keeps on charging the batteries, so that in the night it can be used, and non-stop 7 by 24 by 365 multiplied by 5 years, you don't require any power for that. And why it is at 65,000 feet is, if you go into the environmental sciences where atmosphere, when you go beyond that, there are no low clouds or high clouds. Solar energy is very crystal clear. That's why it operates at the height. And it has got a lot of sensors. It can be used for any of the things. And I'm sure we have around 350 to 400 young budding engineers sitting here. Maybe some of you may become part of Indian Aerospace Engineering, Hindustan Aeronauticals Limited, or Aeronautical Development Authority at Bangalore. Maybe you may be some scientist developing this. I'm sure. Maybe I may not be alive, but my Atma from top will start seeing there. My Atma will be more than 65,000 feet. Don't worry about that. Next thing, beautiful thing that happened was, you can kindly go down. Next is the PowerPoint presentation. Now, I am going to talk about again on 9th of October. That means 9th of October for India and 8th for Europe. A great personality in the world by name Peter Higgs, a physicist, was given. Peter Higgs. And it is known as God's particle. Next slide. Now, whole of the world is created by a theory known as Big Bang theory. What they say is, 14 billion years back, we know in engineering what is known as specific gravity or density. The density of water is 1 gram. That means I take a cube of 1 centimeter length, 1 centimeter width, and 1 centimeter height, and put that much of 1 cubic centimeter of water and put it on a weight scale, it will give you 1 gram. The same thing if I put a mercury, it weighs 13.8. That is what we call it specific gravity. People believe at the start of the universe, the whole matter was compressed into a small cube with specific gravity of 1 into 10 power 99. And then, yeah, I'll wait so that all can see the slides. And then, what it happened was, there was a big bang, big sound. Now today, in other November 2nd, we are going to get Deepavali. In Deepavali, we have a rocket. It goes up, it bursts, and then the flare goes. Like either in a spherical or a ellipsoid shape. Like ellipse in 3-dimensional shape, it keeps on going with 2 axes. This is what the English people call it Big Bang. If you go to the Bible, in the first chapter itself, what is known as Genesis, it seems Lord said, let there be sound. There was sound. Then he said, let there be light. Let there be light. Let there be water. Like that. And in Hindu, we call it Nadam means sound. Brahman means universe. So the universe was created with a big sound. So whether you go to any philosophy, it is known as Big Bang theory. Yeah. So, next, artist's imagination, next slide, of Big Bang. Can you switch off the light so that, this Big Bang, this is how it's the artist's impression, and the small glimpse of Higgs particle also. Next slide. 48 or 49 years ago, there was a gentleman by name Mr. Peter Higgs, a scientist. Now he's 84 years, had a eureka. You know what is eureka? The word eureka. I found it. So long, kandupuditten. The English word, or not English, the Greek word for eureka is, I found it. He had a eureka when he realized that there could be a particle that confers mass. Today, if I take this microphone, it has got a mass. If I take the shirt, it has got a mass. If I take my body, it has got a mass. If I take my nail, it has got a mass. If I take the ring, it has got a mass. Every material in this world has got certain mass. So he says that there should be a particle, and conceived as a subatomic particle in the atom itself, we have got in the nucleus protons as well as neutrons, and the electrons are orbiting around that. And even a subatomic particle, he calls it a mass particle. And he says the whole Big Bang theory was evolved over this particular philosophy, and that's where this mass was created. There is something known as atom smasher. The quest of Mr. Higgs was that particle has been carried out at colliders. I'll try to say that. Collider is nothing but a Jain machine. I'll explain you what the Jain machine that smashes two subatomic. Smashing means it is something like a huge cars or two great vehicles come and try to hit each other. Like that, you have to smash it. From that only you get the particle. The temperature generated there is almost 1 lakh times more than that of the heat produced in sun. Now sun is so many billions of kilometers away from us, and it takes 7.58 minutes to reach the earth. That is the distance it has got, and it is even 1,000 times more than sun. You can imagine the amount of heat. Next slide. This is how, when this reaction takes place, a beam of two mass particles eject out, and this is what is known as the God's particle. Only I have shown you a glimpse. I'll try to further explain what it is. Next slide. God particle, because God created us. The particle is going to create the mass. That's why Higgs called it a God particle. It's a subatomic particle responsible for giving matter with different properties like soft material, hard material, fluid material, liquid material, gaseous material, whatever it is, that properties are existing by this thing. Most mysterious and important property is that mass. Protons and neutrons have mass. Photons have no mass. Higgs boson particle, Higgs boson particle or God particle is believed to be the particle which gives mass to the matter. Next slide. Now, just see this machine. If this is the size of the human being, size of this machine, and I'm going to explain to you later, this is an electrical machine trying to generate voltage of 1 teravolts. You know what is 1 tera? 1 mega is 10 power 6, 1 giga is 10 power 9, 1 tera is 10 power 12. It generates some 4.5 into 10 power 12 volts for creating that smash between two particles. That's how, that much the particle has to be accelerated. Next slide. Standard model of the particles of physics, system that attempts to describe the forces, components and reactions of the basic particles that make up matter. Certain elementary particles even smaller than protons and neutrons. So what I said is mass is even smaller than protons and neutrons. That is why it is subatomic particle. Each of the subatomic particle contributes to the forces that cause all the matter for the interactions. Why some particles seem to be less mass, what I said, why more mass, this is all because of the properties of Higgs God's particle. An elementary particle, the Higgs boson, which would produce the effect of a mass. Now, God particle, one possible signature of the Higgs boson particle from a simulation collision between two protons. This is one. It decays almost immediately into two jets. First, we saw here in this case, these are the two jets of hadrons and two electrons. So the two jets are known as hadrons. That's why they call this known as Large Hadron Collider. And they are visible as two lines. Now the symbol given for that is HO is the symbol for this God's particle. The discovery was announced on 4 July 2012 by Atlas and CMS teams at Large Hadron Collider. The life of this particle, that's why it is God particle known as, is only 1.56 into 10 power minus 22. This is 1 second. 10 power minus 22 means you cannot imagine how small the time is. And the mass is 1.235 plus or minus whatever it is, giga voltage per c square. And yeah, next. This is the tunnel. Just look at the tunnel. I'll explain you. This is somewhere in Europe, below the Alps, 175 feet below the earth, and the tunnel is 27 kilometers in diameter. 27 kilometers in circumference. And this is the tube in which the accelerated voltage at 4.5 gigavolts has to travel. Next slide. And the whole diameter is almost 10 to 15 meters is the diameter. Large Hadron Collider, the world's largest and highest energy particle accelerator, built by European Organization for Nuclear Research. In French, it is known as CERN, Center European Research Nuclear, from 1998 to 2008. To create the tunnel itself, they took around 10 years. The tunnel is 27 kilometers in circumference, in as deep as 175 meters, that means 574 feet below the earth. Beneath the Franco-Swiss border near Geneva, Switzerland, designed to collide opposing particles of beams of either protons at or up to 7 telectron volts, built in collaboration with over 10,000 scientists and engineers from over 100 countries. I am proud to say today, in 2012, there were a bunch of young Bengali scientists who were part of this program. Let us give a big clap for those people who are part of this program itself. And you know what was the cost of the total one? It's $10 billion. That is 5,800 crores is the one. Next slide. This is another view of the tunnel, Large Hadron Collider. Next slide. This is another view. Next slide. On 10th September 2008, the proton beam were successfully circulated. What they did was, first they wanted to circulate the beam, whether it is reaching from 1 kilometer, first point, come back to the 27 kilometers, they circulated. Slowly they accelerated it. And the main ring of the LHC for the first time. Operations were halted due to the magnetic quench incident. Quenching means it is basically putting down. We have to have a very high magnetic force so that the electrons can be propelled at that high speed. So there was a problem. On 20th November 2009, proton beam were successfully circulated again, and with the first recorded proton-proton collision occurring after 3 days. That means they started the process today, now, and it happened after how much? 72 hours. It took 3 days for this to happen. And at what? 450 gigavolts per beam. On 30th March 2010, the first collisions took place between 3.5 TeV beams, setting current world record of the highest energy made by man-made particle collisions. Next slide. Now see, Peter Higgs standing here. If this is the size, this is the ultimate collider where it has to collide. Just imagine, he is almost 2 meters, 4, it's around 18 meters is the diameter there. At what depth? 600 feet below that. Next slide. Now how does it happen is, ATLAS means a toroidal LHC apparatus, CMS compact muon solenoid, LHCb. ALICE is a large ion collider experiment. So in these 27 kilometers, they had different setups at different places. And TOTEM, total cross section, elastic scattering, and diffraction dissociation. Next slide. See, when you open up your motor, or when you open up a dynamo, you have a stator and a rotor like this. Please, let us have some of the components opened up. And now this one, almost the size of half the size of a Mahavir block at 600 feet below the earth. Next slide. LHCF, LHC forward, LFC research, model, HFC pre-reaction. These are the various. PSB, proton synchrotron booster. PS is proton synchrotron. SPS is super proton synchrotron, because you have to accelerate the proton to travel at that high speed for the collision. Next slide. And this is the great man. Let's give a big hand. Peter Higgs. On Peter Ware Higgs, CH, FRS, FRSC, is a British theoretical physicist, Nobel laureate on 8th October 2013, and emeritus professor at the University of Edinburgh. He was born on 29th May 1929, now age is 84, awards National Nobel Prize in Physics, Wolf Prize in Physics. Wolf Prize is the German highest prize. And then Hughes Prize Medal, Dirac Medal of the Institute of Physics. His education was at King's College, London, Chatham, and school at Newcastle upon Tyne. That's where he was born. Next slide. Who says? Ulagam en Kaiyil. Today, Higgs has started. Tomorrow, it is your turn to become Higgs. Miss Higgs or Mr. Higgs. Follow your 1 or 2 and have the world in your hand. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving your valuable insights. Education and learning are tools of empowerment. They enable analytical thinking, innovation, and adaptability. Now, let us have the pleasure of listening to the innovative speech of the Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Sundaram Thanus Iyer, sir.
I'll try to talk in both Tamil and English, whatever way it comes. Because I prefer to be more natural than trying to be some making an impression. Okay. To start with, I must thank you all. It was a wonderful experience for me to have invited and be in the midst of such brilliant youngsters and honorable dignitaries like the principal and COO. I left my institution almost now 32 years back, but it brings me back to all those wonderful days. Honestly, looking at this presentation of principal, I was trying to understand what this is all about. Amazing, such mammoth structure, I never knew about it, but thanks to him, I could understand the mammoothness as well as the greatness of this invention. And I thank you very much for this, sir. I am sure it will take me at least 10 days reading to understand more in depth, honest to you. Okay, but the point I would like to express and share with you, and thanks to you are rightly put to express my views as a chief guest. I'll just go back to the introduction what our honorable lady gave me about. Okay. I believe the world is for everybody. In the sense, the world is for such a genius like Higgs, Einstein, and also very ordinary man like me, and I think you also will join me, many of you will join me also. The world is for everybody. Everybody has a share contribution to make. Okay. Particularly, I refer this, I was talking to principal also, I find every year at least 1.5 lakh of engineers comes out of in Tamil Nadu, and about I think 20 lakh from all over the country. We don't want all to be Higgs. Of course, our aim should be to reach Higgs, so that out of the 20 lakh, maybe 2 reach Higgs and others also reach their levels, because the world is for everybody and the world needs everybody. So, why I repeat this? All of us should have that satisfaction and that self-respect. I am contributing, I am something, and I can come up. Okay. I refer this because in many of the interviews, interactions I had with youngsters, in the part of taking employment, giving them offer, employment offer, or visiting the colleges, presenting some seminars, where there is about say 2%, 3% are brilliant students, there are average modest students also. It is necessary for the society to take those students also into the mainstream. How to bring them? Thanks to this educational busting, like this Big Bang, our education also has had a Big Bang. The last 10, 15 years, you could see education is so much available and it's available to everybody. It's a great thing to happen for this country. At the same time, we should channelize it and take them to the proper place, so that there is no disgust, there is no disappointment among the youngsters. For that, it is not institute alone can help. My interactions with the youngsters, I have come across 3-4 areas they definitely are found wanting. One, the self-identity. Whereas the world has come up so much. I remember when we came out of the college, we are all very comfortable. Today I find we are all very comfortable getting an admission or getting a job. All we need to do is complete the education, some placement will happen, maybe about say 30-40% will get through campus and others will get employment after 1 year. I don't know what to, I don't need to know what I will do after getting an employment, because the employer will take care. In the interview and all very happy, we very politely say, and we are proud also telling that What job he will do? If the interviewer asks, sir, whatever job you give, I will do. We are very contented with that those days. In today's trend, you will be eked out. As engineers or as youngsters, when you go for appearing for an interview, the employer wants to know what you are, and first he wants you to know what you are. I hope you take that point. So a lot of introspection needed. Education alone is not sufficient. You are all doing a wonderful theoretical subject and good exposure also. Many of you will be surfing the nets. Learning, self-learning also is quite vibrant these days, which we are not having. The world has come so far, the exposure has been so good, so much so the competition also. The competition is healthy in the sense it makes you, it forces you to learn more and more and to understand you better. I must admit to you, even after say 30, 40 years of service, many of our generation people do not have a career plan. Because employer asked me to be a manager, I became a manager. My employer asked me to be a GM, I became a GM. He shifted me to R&D, I took R&D. That is the kind of trend those generations. Without any bias. In today's trend, you cannot live like that. So, self-introspection, self-assessment is a very essential thing. I hope you won't mind, I am trying to be in an advisory mode here, but it is necessary. Okay. You may score very good mark, at the same time, unless you know what you are, what your strengths, what your weakness, where you will fit in, where you have an opportunity, and where you will have a threat. That SWOT analysis you should do not only for the, normally SWOT is done for the business. A SWOT has to be done for the individual also. Before you get out of your campus as an engineer, it is necessary, you need to know what are all these faculties of yours. Okay. And God forbid, and why I am repeatedly 2-3 areas I mentioned. I am proud of being a Nagarkoil guy. I am proud of being a MIT. I mentioned this specifically. You should be proud of your origin. Can you ever say to the world, I am not happy with my mother? The world will throw you out. Same is the case the institute you are coming from. I have come across students telling, I feel so ashamed of them when they say, no, sir, enga college la adala solli kudukala sir, engalukku opportunity illa sir. Hare, can you ever say this? Can you ever say that okay, such is the level. These are all the things you cannot speak out. And what can campus do? They offer you wonderful education facilities. And it's for the student, it should be both ways. So, sorry, I am not trying to criticize or anybody, but the step has to come forward. It has to be mutual. Okay. So, as youngsters, as you come out, maybe in the final year or maybe in the third year, that is the right time for you all to understand where my strength is. Okay. And where I have to improve upon. Weakness is not a weakness per se, please. Weakness is the area where you have to supplement it either by additional learning or by some other input. Okay. Never think weakness is a weakness. If you think weakness is a weakness, then only it becomes a weakness. Otherwise, it's an area for improvement. Okay. I find that communication problems or self-identity, never come out of your institute without knowing what you will be in the next 5 years, next 10 years. In our times, it was quite accepted. Rather, there was credit also. Hey, this guy is good, I can mold him. Today, nobody is there to mold you. When you get inside an organization, whether it's Ashok Leyland or Mahindra's, any of this company, for orientation purpose, they give you some period, maybe 6 weeks. That is basically for you to understand the culture, understand the people, and whom to ask for what, that's all. And the learning and the practices, you have to take it up yourself. For that, you should do a SWOT of yourself. Where I should improve, where I have to be cautious, and which opportunity I can exploit. Like somebody may be very good in communication, he is a wonderful speaker, he will have a very good salesmanship. He should rather opt for, even in the sitting in the interview, he should rather orient himself to take up that job. Because when a company organization comes, Mahindra's or Tata Motors comes to you, they will have some numbers. Okay, I will have 10 engineers to recruit, and within themselves, out of the 10 people, I will have 2 people for R&D, 4 people for sales, another 4 people for service, another 2 people for quality and manufacturing. Okay, these numbers they will have, and as raw engineers, what can they assess you? Because you don't have an experience. Otherwise, if they want experienced people, they will specifically advertise. We want quality experts or quality engineers with 5 years experience, exposed in TQM, 7 QC principles, all those things they will mention. What can they expect from freshers? You have to sell yourself there. So unless you do an introspection, you know your strength, you cannot face it. On the contrary, if you align yourself, it will be a boost for you to get an employment. Your campus cannot help you there. Your campus or your institute can give you all the exposure, but the introspection has to come from the student themselves. So prepare yourself on that. Second thing is, understand about the organization better. Today I am happy, placement is such an important assignment, portfolio in any of the institute. They have so much of focus given so that students get employment as quickly as possible. But the competition is so much. When such a large volume of engineers come out, we don't have that much of opportunity for accommodating all. So the person who is presenting himself better, I repeat again, the person who is presenting himself better gets a better opportunity. It is not simply the marks which will get a placement. And even if you get a placement just by marks, you are in danger if you don't quickly acclimatize and understand yourself and adjust to the environment. So for all that, again, you need to do a SWOT analysis of yours. Okay. And on the communication side or on the professional side, it's better you understand how companies work. Before you go to the company or before appearing for an interview, it is better to understand what that company is doing. Today nobody will accept if Bajaj Auto comes for an interview here and he is asking, hey, what is Bajaj doing? Sir, நீங்க வந்து tractor பண்றீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் அப்படின்னா, then he will have a bad impression of you. So before sitting in the panel, you should know what this company is doing and what is their market position. All those initial studies, if you are all doing, excellent. But otherwise, please start doing, because the world is for everybody. The last man also should get the opportunity and he should be groomed. Okay. So the second aspect I would like to mention is, whenever you present yourself to the industry, market, please position yourself as they look at you, as they want you to be. Okay. So if there is an interview call for a service engineer position, should do some homework. What do service people do? You can find out. You can go to the net and find out what the service structure of that organization is. If Bajaj is there, you will put service, Bajaj service, it will throw out their network, their service structure, their call numbers. You can visit a dealership of Bajaj and understand what they are doing there. With that background, if you go and attend that interview, you will have a better chance and you will be respected in that forum. Among 20 people or 50 people attending an interview for a position of 4 numbers, the person who is going with this preparation will have a better understanding. Not just by reading this theory or some principles of law, it's not going to help alone. Gone are those days. Today, the industrial people expect this, your awareness. Okay. And the third important, which is most important, is man management. This is what is necessary everywhere you go. You cannot be an isolated person. So any employer, when he comes there, he would like to see how you mix with others and your approach to the growth and the comfort of others. Okay. So they will definitely throw questions to probe this, no? Suppose we make you as a manager of a department, there is power cut, okay, but you have to meet the production, what will you do? This will be a typical question asked, and it's a reality. And the way you answer it, from that they will assess your mindset, okay, whether you have the care for your people, whether you are in, and it's a typical thing, they also have this problem. How you answer, no? It will give an opportunity to be innovative in similar situation, how you can manage, and how you are compassionate, because you cannot put your colleagues into difficulty and still meet your goal. Okay, so how you are overcoming that, all these things will be assessed. So man management is the most critical thing. Okay, above all, think of inclusive growth. This one particular word you will see these days quite commonly used. It's a very nice word. Okay, grow with others. Today the problem is, out of the 1.5 lakh people coming, maybe 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 engineers get placed. What's happening to the rest of the people? He is your own colleague, your own classmate. Should we not consider about him? I get a 5 lakh salary package per annum, whereas other guy, he is getting hardly 50,000, 60,000. Is it fair? So how to overcome this? The society has to think themselves. Today you are all in at one side, as sir was mentioning, Bill Gates was thinking about 30 years back, 40 years back about this computerization growth, and today you are enjoying it. And this is the time you all need to think how we will live as a society. India particularly is living in a threshold. I am not an expert to comment on this, but I could sense with my common sense, and whatever the exposure I had is good enough to see. Every year we are pushing out so many number of engineers, and some people are placed in a very high pedestal, getting very good packages. See, person getting in Ashok Leyland, the starting package is say 5.5 lakh, whereas the person who is going to some small industry getting about say 1 lakh. Why this gap? How we can overcome this? These are all the areas we have to really work on. Maybe it's not in your hand alone, it's the government has to chip in, but the pressure has to build up. If we don't do it, the society will build it up themselves. Okay, but as youngsters, please try to support your colleagues. It has to be an inclusive growth. Okay, that is the thing, and I am not sure that I have not come with any specific agenda, but whenever I meet youngsters, this is the thing I want to share, which I am sharing with you. Otherwise, it is a wonderful gathering and a great opportunity to be in the midst of you. And I am sure that in the course of the day, I will see more and more enlightenment, more and more enlightened. Thanks a lot. Thank you.